Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today we're not going to be working on the city, but instead some shelving for the studio. So let's get started. And over here, as you guys have seen probably many times at this point, this shelf right here has a bunch of Star Wars stuff on it, and it sits right next to the build table here. And pretty much I bought two of these taller shelves, so they're actually twice as tall as this here. So that means I can put a whole bunch more stuff on it. So let's check out where that is going to be. And it's actually going to be right behind me, right over here. All right, so like I said, the build table is right over there. And if we come around this way right here, this whole strip of wall, pretty much from that closet right there, all the way down to that door over there, is open for the taking. And I actually already have one of the boxes down here for the shelves. So we're going to get started building that right away. I'm going to vacuum and then we're going to get started. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. And so actually, before we get started here, this is the name of the shelf that I'm using here. It is pretty tall. They make a couple different sizes of it. Like I showed earlier is the one that's the half height. This is the full height one, and they make one that's half the width as well. So it's the full depth and then just half the width. So instead of being a large rectangle up against the wall, it's just a square. So I think that also could be a pretty viable option for having a tall but limited footprint of space. And so let me start putting this together and we will see how it looks. All right, so I vacuumed this space and I built the first shelf. I got so excited that I went through the whole process and it's done. I added the first set on the bottom here, which is going to be the Maersk ship. And I think that looks pretty good down there. I might add another longer set on that shelf as well to just kind of help make it look a little bit nicer, I think. I'm going to add as many sets as I can, I think, but I don't want to make it too cluttered. And up top here is a custom, it's just a base plate with a couple different sets on it, plus some of my own pieces to make a scene from one of the Hobbit movies. And I think it turned out pretty good. Smaug could use a little bit of a repositioning there, but I think it looks fine. And then this truck here is from, I want to say like 2008, 2007 maybe. I really like this truck and I've had it in my collection for a long time, and so I want to display it. I don't think there's enough room in the city to put it how I properly want it to, so I think I'm just going to leave it up here for now, and that gives me 1, 2, 3 full shelves of stuff to display, along with most of that shelf as well as most of that top one there. And I can expand over this way. The ceiling does dip down slightly for the HVAC in the house here, but it is still enough room for this top shelf. So maybe I move the truck over to this shelf over here because it's pretty short and I can still put something in there. So without further ado, let me get to building this other shelf here. And I'm not super worried about using that outlet there. I don't think I'm ever going to need it. Same with that outlet over there. If I do ever decide to light some of these sets up that go on here, I do have the outlets. But for now, I'm just going to pretend that they're not there. And I brought the second box of the shelf down. So I'm going to start building that, and then we can get started on adding the sets to it, which is probably the more important and also interesting thing to do in this video. So let's get started on the shelf, and then we can actually get started on that. All right, so the second shelf is built. I just have to go in and add the glass because the 3 middle shelves here have the glass insert. So I have to just go in and add those. But the shelf is pretty much done. The top is on as well. The light is kind of almost on top of it here. So I probably won't put anything directly in this area right here. But other than that, I think it looks fine. And the carpet is kind of making it not totally even, but it's not the end of the world. I don't think that is such a big deal. So let me go in and we can add also that bottom shelf as well. So let's add the glass and that bottom shelf, and then we can actually get to the fun stuff, which is adding all of the sets on it and making everything look really cool. All right, so this is what we're working with the shelves right now. It's not done yet, but I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a walkthrough with all of this stuff here. And we're going to start up in the top left here, right by the light, like I had just talked about. And so I moved the truck over because it actually fits pretty good. And there's a couple extra Speed Champions cars over here, including the Aston Martin and also the 6-wide Speed Champions. That one's pretty old, actually. And then the Lego Dimensions Back to the Future DeLorean, a car from a creator expert, or just a regular creator set, I think. Another Speed Champions car, the 2015 X-Wing from The Force Awakens is over here. A little bit of open space here, but I'm fine with that, to be honest with you. These are from Mixels. Shout out to that theme. If you guys remember that theme, drop a comment down below. Then we have the fan favorite Bionicle up top here with some of the extra canisters up there. And then couple, it's kind of haphazard on this top shelf here, but I think it's okay. I would rather have it be a little bit too crowded than have it not have enough on it. So the 2012 TIE Fighter, maybe 2014, that era of TIE Fighters back there. The MIDI scale Millennium Falcon that came out, I think last year, that is up here as well. This little polybag TIE Fighter as well. That's pretty old too. Then the Microfighter Slave 1, as well as the Mandalorian show version of it. The Cave Trolls are up here from the castle theme from like 15 or so years ago. Probably a little more than that at this point. And then the Hobbit diorama that I had shown earlier, and also that set from Atlantis. And then moving down, this layer is also pretty full here. This is all Star Wars stuff for the most part. It's the Coruscant Guard gunship, Captain Rex and Commander Cody. And then the Bad Batch shuttle, a custom mock of General Grievous here. The speeder bike to go with the Bad Batch shuttle. A couple of battle pack elements here. Obi-Wan Starfighter. These custom interceptors here. This was the set that came with Darth Maul and his metallic or like specially molded metal legs, bionic legs. So that's pretty cool. This was my brother's, so this is just on the shelf here. And then we have Yoda's Starfighter or Interceptor, and then two more cannons. These are actually from the ARC Trooper battle pack from probably about 12 years ago at this point as well. And then we've got the Rock Monster right there. The Books Are My Passion Ideas set or gift with purchase here. I quite like that there. I think that looks good. And then we have the A-frame cabin here. And this area could use a little bit more work. But again, I'm supposed to grow into this. I don't want to fill everything immediately. And then I just have nowhere to put all the new stuff. So this is the 2023 and the 2008 Ark of the Covenant set. And I think these look really good next to each other. Here's a pretty good side-by-side of them there. And behind that is the Horizon Express. I just put it here temporarily just because I didn't have space on the layout for it. And I also went ahead and I put the Holiday Tram from the Holiday Main Street set a couple years ago on it here as well. And this is actually the Orient Express's base that it came with. I'm not a huge fan of how it overlaps both shelves, but I think it works and I think it looks fine. And then in front of it here is the police station from 1991. I believe it was. The set number is 6540. And I think it is missing a couple of pieces, but this is pretty cool in the collection. This is one of the older, if not the oldest set that is in my collection. So this is pretty cool. I would like to add at least components of this to the city once I add that expansion table in. So definitely stay tuned and click subscribe so you don't miss when that happens. And also the bell notification so you don't miss any other future uploads that happen on this channel here. And then the up house is also over here. I never talked about this on the channel, I don't think, but I made a back half to it. And so it's actually like the set, you can see the seam down the middle here. The set is only half of that, and I bought a bunch of pieces as well as stuff from my own collection, and I just put it all together, and I think it turned out pretty good. And then this shelf is actually pretty much open here, and I just put some of the display cases up in the back here for the figures that I had talked about in that Q&A a few days ago. So definitely check that out if you haven't already. And then there's a couple Creator Expert cars down here. And some of these have seen better days with the, you can see the yellowing pieces on there. That's a lot of sun damage, and you will see more of that in just a minute here, unfortunately. But here is the Mandalorian Starfighters, and then the Fang Fighter, and then the Imperial Shuttle, and then the TIE Defender to go along with that from that same set, and then the 2021 X-Wing, and then again, some more open shelf space, a Bionicle set down there, and then the 2012, I think it was, R2-D2, the UCS one, and then the Malevolence from the Clone Wars, the Maersk ship like I had shown earlier, the Captain Rex and Boba Fett helmets, as well as this 2024 R2-D2, which I believe this was the set that came with Darth Malak. It was one of the 25 years of Star Wars anniversary, or Lego Star Wars, I mean. And so this is pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with this. And again, right over here is the build table and all that. So just over here is where all this is happening. And so like I just showed you, the build table is just to the right of this, but I'm not showing where the rest of the room is in relation to this and where the city is, because I'm saving that for the studio tour, which is coming out this Wednesday. And so that video is actually already live on the channel for channel members to watch. And so if that is something that you want to see, make sure to become a channel member. All you have to do is click the join button next to the subscribe and next to the name in the description. And so you will become a channel member and you'll get access to a lot of awesome perks, including early access to videos and also exclusive behind the scenes updates on stuff. And so I would really appreciate it if you guys did that. But regardless of whether you choose to do that or not, your support is greatly appreciated on everything that you guys do. But I really like this. I think this turned out really good. And obviously, it's not done. It's not perfect. And the open space is for me to grow into it. And also stuff is going to be rotating in and out of this as time goes on. But on that note, that is going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what I did, make sure to like the video and subscribe, as well as click the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads. If you guys have any feedback for me on these shelves and also what's on them, make sure to drop a comment down below and let me know what you think. And once again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.